Hello, and welcome to today's 11 plus exam prep lesson, rotating 3D shapes. So three-dimensional shapes can move in three different planes, so roughly three different directions. Firstly, it can go clockwise and anti-clockwise. So clockwise is in this corner and anti-clockwise is in the far corner. And next, our 3D shapes can rotate to the left and to the right. So if we picture our shape like this and then pivot it to the left and then pivot it to the right like that. And then we can also move our shape, rotate our shape forwards and backwards. So forwards and backwards, as shown in this image over here. So again, we're using our same method as with 2D shapes. We need to look out for specific elements. So these are the elements we need to look for in a 3D shape. So starting off with number, we need to look at how many blocks are in the original 3D shape. Then we need to think about the dimensions of each block, so how big or small the blocks are. Then we need to think about position, so which blocks are touching each other. And then finally, we need to think about angles. So are there any perpendicular or parallel blocks? These are your key elements to look out for in 3D shapes. Okay, so with our example on the left, where we've labeled each of the blocks A, B, C, and D, if you start off with number, how many blocks are there? Well, there are 4 blocks. There's the pink, the blue, the yellow, and the green. 4 blocks in total. Now thinking about dimensions, we can see that there are 2 long, 2 short, and 2 narrow blocks. So the pink shape, that's A, is made up of 1 cube unit, whereas the blue shape is made up of 2 stacked on top of each other. The yellow shape is 2 cubes tall, but half a cube wide. And then the green shape, D, is 1 cube tall, but half a cube wide. Those are our dimensions, our sizes of the blocks. Next, if we think about position, so the pink and the blue blocks are touching, and the yellow and the green blocks are also touching. And they also touch the blue block. Finally, if we think about angles, they are all oriented in the same direction. That means they're all pointing or facing the same way. So the pink and blue blocks are parallel to the green and yellow blocks. Now let's apply this to an example question. So which option is a rotation of the 3D shape? Let's have a look. We've identified our elements. Let's see if we can identify any obviously wrong options. So give you a moment to look through them. Let's start. So which ones can we immediately rule out? Well, we can see that in B, the yellow block has been split up. So there is the wrong number of blocks. That's an obvious one to, oh, is it going to let me draw? There we go. Oh, yellow, fun. To rule out immediately. Next, if we look at C, this yellow block here is sticking out at the wrong angle. Instead of being parallel to all the other blocks, it's perpendicular, it's at a right angle. So we can also rule out C. So I got rid of B, got rid of C. Then if we look at E, this green block here is way too big. It's sticking much further out than it is in the original image. So we can rule it out for that reason. And then in A, the red and green blocks shouldn't be touching. So they're in the wrong position. That means we can also rule it out. So we are eventually left with our answer D. Let's now have a little practice. So we're looking for a rotation of the main 3D shape. Let's go through all of our steps together. So first of all, what do we need to do? We need to identify the elements of the main 3D shape. Can you tell me in the Q&A the number of blocks that you see in the main shape? So the main shape is made up of 5 blocks. There's 1 cube, 2 cuboids that are 2 cubes long, and 2 cuboids that are 3 cubes long. That's our first step, identify the elements. We focus here on number. Next, we need to rule out answer options that are obviously incorrect. So based on the elements we just looked at, we can rule out B because it's got the wrong number of blocks. There are 6 blocks instead of 5. And then we can rule out option D because it only contains 4 blocks. So just using the element of number, we can already rule out 2 of our answer options. Our next step is to imagine rotating our 3D shape. So imagine pushing it over in all of the various different directions and comparing this to our remaining answer options. So if we look at option A, it actually contains 2 cubes instead of 1. So we can also rule it out. I'll go across. And finally, if we look at E, we can see that the blocks are angled incorrectly. So the top and the bottom cuboids should be perpendicular to each other, whereas here they run parallel. That leaves us with C. It shows the main 3D shape being rotated 180 degrees to either left or the right. Now let's try rotating some 3D shapes. Okay, here are our results. The most popular answer was B. Let's have a little look. And is it right? And it absolutely is. Well done, you. So let's start off by identifying some of our elements or identifying features. So the main shape is made from 6 identical cuboids, and 5 of the cuboids create an L shape. That means we can immediately rule out D because there is no L shape. It's a lowercase t. Next, if we look at the 6th cuboid, we can see that it's attached to the 2nd cuboid from the end of the L shape. This means we can rule out E, A, and C. And that leaves us with B, which is a 180 degrees clockwise rotation of the main shape. So it's been rotated 180 degrees clockwise.